Hi everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to the physioBRAIN channel. This is Professor Adriano, and today we're going to talk about 3 new modifiable risk factors that have been found to be related to the onset of dementia. So stay with me and don't miss these tips. And as you already know, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, like the video, and share it with anyone you think needs to know this information. So everyone, in the previous video, we talked about 9 modifiable risk factors that are related to the onset of dementia. And today we're going to talk about 3 new risk factors that have now been identified and are being shared as additional risk factors that are related along with those 9. So now we have 12 risk factors, modifiable risk factors, as we call them, for the development of dementia. Okay. So why are they considered modifiable, as we explained in the previous video? Because with changes in habits, changes in behavior, you can modify them and that risk factor no longer exists. So we talked about obesity, physical inactivity. So if you become more active, you modify that risk factor and it no longer exists, okay? It's interesting to mention that these 12 risk factors, they represent 40% of the likelihood of developing Alzheimer's disease or another type of dementia in the future. So 40% of cases are accounted for by these risk factors, okay? And there are still 60% of risk factors and 60% of cases for which the causes are not yet known. So these are still unknown causes according to the literature, science, and scientific research, okay? So let's talk about the 3 new risk factors that are related to the onset of dementias. The first new risk factor associated with the onset of dementias: excessive alcohol consumption. So excessive alcohol consumption, according to what specialists and researchers have stated, is defined as more than 21 units of alcoholic beverages per week, okay? Let's say that's about 21 cans of beer per week, all right? If you consume more than that, you have a higher probability, a higher percentage of developing dementias in the future, of developing, for example, Alzheimer's disease, okay? So yes, excessive alcohol consumption, regular and excessive alcohol consumption, is linked to the onset of dementias, okay? So it's very important for us to pay attention to this. The second risk factor found to be related to the onset of dementias: cranioencephalic trauma, recurrent injuries to the head area, cranial traumas. Individuals who have experienced more significant cranioencephalic trauma, specifically multiple head injuries or severe cranial traumas, exhibit a demonstrably higher probability of developing various forms of dementias and other debilitating neurodegenerative diseases, all right? So you really need to be careful with professions that have a high risk of head injuries or frequent falls that can lead to this kind of contusional trauma, okay? So you need to be very careful with cranioencephalic trauma because it is also associated with the onset of dementias. And the third associated risk factor is air pollution, because research is indicating that regions where there are many people who smoke the environment with cigarette smoke in the air pollution have a higher probability of causing people to develop dementias and neurodegenerative diseases. So air pollution is another modifiable factor, is the third modifiable factor that specialists have pointed out to us, saying that it can increase the probability of developing dementia in the future, in old age, when you become elderly, okay? So you really need to pay close attention to these 3 risk factors: excessive alcohol consumption, air pollution, and head injuries, cranioencephalic trauma, okay? That's it. I hope you enjoyed the video and that this information is helpful. I hope you share this with anyone who needs to know this information: a family member, someone studying in this field, or someone who is starting to show signs of forgetfulness or any sign of dementia. So I hope this video can help. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm always responding to the comments people leave. Like the video if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. A hug, and see you next time.